All right, a change in pace now. It's time for Media Watch. Emma James joins us here in the studio. Hello to you, Emma. We're starting off with strike action over planned pension reforms that close the world's most visited museum here in Paris. It's testing some people's patience, it has to be said.
Yes, very much so. Day 44 of the strikes here in France. The situation is easing on public transport and the trains, but today the protesters took to the Louvre and shut it down. It is the most visited museum in the world, but they barricaded the entrance so that nobody was getting in today. The reactions to this, well, in a nutshell, in response to this particular video, I think this kind of sums it all up. This gentleman says, "Shame, go back to work." And in reply, this gentleman says simply, "Non." And it is very much an oversimplification. But if we take a look at the most recent poll that shows how support is going for these protests, undoubtedly, support has dropped off quite considerably. This was done by BFM TV, a French news channel, and 53% of people now say that the protests must stop, whereas 46% say they must continue. That's a big drop in support. It was more like 7 or 8 people out of 10 supported it at the beginning, but it has gone on for 44 days and people are getting pretty sick of it because it is a lot of inconvenience. This woman, though, is extremely calm about it all. She should have been going to the Louvre today. She bought her tickets 3 months ago for the Leonardo da Vinci exhibition, which is only on for a limited period up until February the 24th, so she may not get a chance to go again. She said she really wanted to see it, but she supports the strikers. Not everyone sounds the same, though, it has to be said. This gentleman saying, "Finally found my people." And that's above a video where you've got tourists shouting, "We've had enough." And one tourist in particular has, rather unfortunately for her, garnered a great deal of attention. She was slightly misquoted by the journalist here. She said she was ready to force her way through the barricades at the Louvre to get inside, and then he misquotes her saying, "I don't care about their retirement." Now, he corrected it lower down, but that tweet got a lot less traction. What she actually said was, "I have nothing to do with these retirement problems." But everyone seems to be talking about Mireille on Twitter today. Lots of people making comparisons like this. Marie Antoinette, and the quote says, "I don't care about their claims." This is the imagined scene when she forces her way through the barricades, and she really has become seen as the symbol of privileged, out-of-touch attitudes that just don't understand how it's going to affect people. Some have even been quite creative. This T-shirt, "Let me through, my name is Mireille." So really showing the dangers there of when you have an off-the-cuff conversation with a journalist and you can end up becoming the meme of the day.
I wonder if she realised what a storm she's caused.
Probably not.
Speaking to cameras, she'll soon find out, that's for sure. Somebody will tell her. All right, if we move away from Mireille and we think a little bit about the US rapper Eminem. Now, he has stirred up some controversy on his side. You might say unsurprisingly. Tell us more, Emma.
Yes, it does seem as though most rappers, and certainly Eminem, can't release anything without there being some form of controversy. Now, he dropped his surprise album last night, Music to be Murdered By. So that gives you a clue as to the kind of tastefulness of it or otherwise. But there was one song in particular that has really upset a lot of people. It references the Manchester Arena bombing back in 2017 when Ariana Grande's concert was bombed. 22 people died, among them children, the youngest victim just 8 years old. In this song, he compares himself to the bomber, and these are the lyrics in question that have caused so many people to be very upset. "I'm contemplating yelling bombs away on the game like I'm outside an Ariana Grande concert waiting." It's not the most offensive, but it's just really gratuitous and tasteless and just causing unnecessary distress, really, to a lot of people. His fans have been quick to point out that he actually called for people to help those victims and families of those affected by the Manchester bombing back in 2017. The fans are saying that's proof he's really a good guy. Other people say it just points to the fact that he's a hypocrite. Interestingly, though, some members of families of victims, Fijian Murray among them, she's the mother of Martin Hett, one of the victims, says, "I will not be talking to any press or media about Eminem." She did tweet earlier that she found it distasteful. She said it wasn't clever and totally pointless. And her other son, Dan Hett, has this message for journalists saying, This lazy verse about the arena exists so he can sell records to edgelords with poor taste in hip hop, and you can write stories for pearl clutching readers. And really, I think that family has decided they are not going to add to the publicity that Eminem is going to get.
Why.
And you could say that Francois has fallen into the same trap because we are talking about it, and we wouldn't be talking about his surprise album release without there having been this controversy. Now, also on the same album is another track where he's actually calling for there to be gun control. Another thing that fans are really pointing towards, saying, no, he's really a good guy. In Darkness, he's sort of inside the mind of the man who carried out the Las Vegas shooting, which also happened back in 2017, a terrible mass shooting. But interestingly, not everyone believes that he's really doing it from a good place. The Atlantic reporting that it's less a fight against gun violence and more a glorification of it.
Okay, well, the album release has certainly got people talking about it. Emma, thank you for our roundup of the media there. It's time now.